Good afternoon. Welcome to another take on the continuing saga in Zimbabwe. Some people have spoken about Mnangagwa's alleged imminent arrest and the issue of immunity. Does or did Mnangagwa enjoy any immunity from arrest on account of his former position as vice president? What is your take? Some may not know the question. I think it has been shared on social media, and this is the way the issue has been reported. Vice President Mnangagwa stands to lose a lot after being fired from ZANU-PF. Political analyst Farai Maguwu has said, he will be stripped of all resources, he will be stripped of immunity, and number 3, they can prefer charges against him. Okay, if you look at the state of the Zimbabwean economy, the relationship between ministers, vice presidents, and the president with money, what is it that we learn about money, resources? I think we learn a lot that most of the resources actually don't come from income, or there is no relationship between income derived from services rendered as state actors and the actual income or resources available to them. It will be interesting to note, given the salaries in Zimbabwe, the real impact on income, if any. Do you really think that the income that ministers get from government is in any way related to the resources that they are associated with? One question. 2, does the vice president in Zimbabwe enjoy immunity like the president, the boss? If so, what is the legal basis of that? Then 3, the issue of preferring charges against the vice president, is it in any way related to his position in government? What's your take? And I think we are also looking at this position of vice president. Paul Akibe, as the vice president, stepped down. No, he has been dismissed by the president, so he didn't step down voluntarily. He was given a dismissal letter. So I don't think he would have wanted to exit, and the exit is effectively an involuntary arrangement. What is your take? Yusuf Essa, who takes over? They've already appointed an acting vice president. And that vice president, who is now acting, is the president of the Senate, Honorable Mnangagwa. And Grace Rurezo, welcome. Bukosi Sibanda, welcome. Bukosi, the issue of legal proceeding against him is for purposes of trimming his wings. Okay. Also, when the effect of being fired is actually trimming, because the moment you are fired and you are not fireable, if I can use colloquial English, then it means you have already become fair game. Welcome, Farai Makandanji. And Brian Mchemwa, the reasons for dismissal are rather speculative. Was there a hearing where he defended himself? I think if you look at the wording of the letter of dismissal, it tells you a lot. That this is more to do with the relationship between a principal and agent, where there is no more trust between the two. It would appear from the letter that no grounds were advanced related to the conduct of the former vice president in relation to his duties as an actor of state. One would have wanted reasons to be advanced. But unfortunately, if you have a relationship between two parties, the appointing authority and also the beneficiary of appointment, then you must accept that there are consequences. Evelyn Gorogodo, welcome. How true is that they are playing games? This is not monkey business, Evelyn. This is real business. And all this is in furtherance of your powers. And the president is of the view, vigorously asserted, that he is in grave danger if he doesn't take the step he's taking. And he has taken the steps to uphold the Constitution in his mind against an impending coup d'etat. Darlington Makonese, so does it mean that he has also been fired from the party? I think you can agree sunrise is followed by sunset. And if you are already found to be dishonest, deceitful, unworthy of being in government, then you must accept the consequences thereof. So it's done. It's water under the bridge. Anombe Roy joined, welcome. Ashraf Meza, watching from India, hi Ashraf. And Paul, as Zimbabweans in support of the VP dismissal, the Constitution of Zimbabwe limits the level of anger that may be relevant from a legal construction. The vice president is appointed by the president. The appointment has nothing to do with the people of Zimbabwe, except the preference of the elected president. Farai Frank Gumbo, is there a possibility of you being the face of a political party or running for office, say, in the near future? Frank, I've been asked that question a lot of times. And the people who ask genuinely are asking in good faith. Because we are looking for a Messiah for a job that requires no Messiah. We are looking for a thinker for a job that has been distorted and does not require a thinker. We are looking for something that is not there, will never be there. It so happens that the first and only president in government since independence is one person, President Mugabe. Therefore, everything that we think is shaped and defined by the character and personality of this individual who has dominated the office. And that's where people have to think, what kind of person would you want in a functioning democratic republican constitutional order where the people are sovereign, self-asserting? Frank, would you really need somebody who can think for you or administer your affairs in your interest? We are looking for faces that confuse us. We are looking for thought leaders when there's no thinking required. Jabusile Shumba, welcome. Rose Musarurwa, could this be the boiling point? In ZANU, it was boiling already. It has been boiling since independence, except there are people who never understood where the boiling was. Some wanted to be president. Even Joshua Ngomo had ambitions to be president one day. It didn't happen. Muzenda also had ambitions. It didn't happen. So the boiling could be an internal issue, and we must respect it. Okay, John Smith Ndebele wants to participate. Let me see whether I can add you. Okay, there are many watching also attentively. Could this change fair? Kudamatenga, you are watching this guy, Starboy Nyak D. Has he made any statement pertaining to his dismissal? Not that I know of. Bright Masemba, watching from Cape Town, Africa, Eduletu. What is this talk about? in one line. It's really to talk about the events, facts, circumstances pertaining to the dismissal of one of the two vice presidents of Zimbabwe. David Mgwira, Mr. Marin, appears you and ED were, or you are not good friends. I don't think the issue is friendship. Mnangagwa has and has always been an officer, an actor in government, having been appointed by president. And he has performed his duties, obviously, in accordance to what his boss could have been asking him. Gumire Mukandi, watching from Great Zimbabwe University, Mashawa campus. Gumire Msewe, hi, Gavin, Marowatsanga. What's next for ED? I think ED can answer it himself, but I don't know. And will Mpoko be the first VP now? Certainly not. Mpoko understands or ought to understand what is at play. Elisha Majawiza, welcome. Elisa Azayas Jiri, hi Zim. And Robert Tawanda, Gongora, any chance for a play to get SMM back? And I guess most people always think that is about getting something back, that we are on air to get something back, that I was injured. I think we should be more worried about the rule of law, not getting SMM back. I think you are aware that the law that was used to take to take SMM, that law is alive and well. So I don't know where this is coming from, but I guess everybody thinks it's about SMM. Kudzi Mnangagwa, good day. Mutuma, good day. How are you doing? Okay. This should be a turning point in Zimbabwe affairs and stop Grace Marsh G. I don't know. Some people are saying that this is the dawn of a new era, and you are saying it's a turning point. That so I guess the future will never be lying to anyone. It has no interest in lying. The future will unfold as it must, and somebody will be there, and it's just a new cast of characters. Let me check. I've added. I've sent a request to Smith. Let me just check whether I can get this thing. Okay. Brian Michema, what is Grace Rowe and who is she in the government of Zimbabwe to have so much power to influence the firing of a vice president of a country, not ZANU? I think the question is may be ill-informed, because Grace has always been influential. Perhaps you didn't know how much. She is credited for making former Vice President Mujuru a vice president. So her role and political voltage has been known and accepted by people who knew and ought to know how power is distributed and how a brotherhood of men can transcend the sovereignty of nations. I think her influence has been omnipresent, but now she's an actor in the party. When they chose to remove Mujuru as the face of women in the presidium, she took not herself alone. Some of the women took the view that the only woman they could trust who could talk to the president one-on-one is his wife. And therefore in 2014, it was decided, following her election as the head of the Women's League, that she is the pinnacle of power, if that power is reserved on the basis of gender. So there is no surprise. But notwithstanding that fact, which should have been known at the time by all who needed to know, that the appointment of Mnangagwa as vice president had no bearing at all to the actual power, because only President Mugabe is an elected office bearer in the position of president, both in the party and in the state, in government. And therefore, anyone who hallucinated, pontificated, imagined that appointment meant more than what it was meant to mean, I think that's where the misdirection, Brian, started. And it continues by elevating an appointed person above the appointee. And it can be suicidal. We have seen it in South Africa, where Nene was perceived to be more important than the appointing authority, where Pravin Gordhan was also perceived to be more important than the appointing authority. And guess what has happened? History is full of evidence of what can happen and what will happen if a misunderstanding of what power is and what it is not takes root. Leslie, when you are dining with the devil, you must expect to be disappointed. Okay. I'm not too sure what Leslie, you mean, who is dining with the devil? And Mnangagwa was appointed vice president was not dining. He was appointed to perform certain duties, and he finds himself outside the four corners of state state power. Brian, the reasons are simple: that he lost favor of the principal. John Smith, the one who appoints, can disappoint. That's right. Ngomo never had ambitions. Then why would he become president of ZAPU if he had no ambitions of being the president of the country? Why would he become vice president, not an officer of ZANU-PF? I'm not sure where you get the facts that Joshua Ngomo was not ambitious. George Kudakwashi Mashoko, a new set of politicians with the interests of the people needed any chance of getting this. I guess I've spoken to that issue that I think let's look at what is required in terms of a Republican constitutional order where universal suffrage applies, where all of us, irrespective of our station in life, have the opportunity to vote and also be voted for or against. And that is what it is. If the government is a product of the will of the people, then surely you have a stake in it. And I'm not too sure that interest can ever be measured, that elections can be a useful barometer of judging and discriminating against anyone who may not have interests of the people. They all come with one face, saying that if you vote in this particular direction, there will be outcomes. But I think you have enough proof after 37 years. And the incumbent is saying, I still want to go on. I guess get one for the keeper. Brian Secure, hi Mr. Mawere, what's up with the dual citizenship? Did it get passed in Parliament? No. The Constitution is clear, and that's what we challenged. Citizenship is not a parliamentary issue. It's entrenched in the Constitution. If you are born in Zimbabwe, or you qualify in terms of what the Constitution says, then you are entitled to citizenship. If you decide to leave the country and acquire the citizenship of your own, of the country that you choose to make your new home, your Zimbabwean citizenship will not be stripped off. But I think Mudede has a different way of understanding that order. He's saying that there must be an act of parliament to guide this matter. But that act cannot override the power of the Constitution to provide direction. Kaiti Mshangu Marwa, she is the president's darling. I think you are dead right there. And John Smith joined again. So let's go through there are a number of comments that have come through. And that's where you are wrong, Mtumwa, comes from Kudzi. He served in deceit and disloyalty. He was treacherous in the execution of duties. I'm saying those are the things that that can be debatable. I don't know who is judging whether he was given a fair trial for that to be determined, for the deceit, disloyalty, and treachery to be determined. But that's what under the bridge. I think even if he was acquitted, there was no way he could stay in that position. It was just a question of time anyway. All we have done is anticipated what was to happen in a few weeks. And what was going to happen was going to happen. I think it was inevitable anyway. And if on the eve, Nixon, Nembaware, if on the eve of election you have a chance to have dinner with the president in a new Zimbabwe, and he asks you for a 10-point plan to turn around Zimbabwe, what would you say in brief? I would say simply that the values that should inform Zimbabwe must be premised on the supremacy of the individual. That if we get it wrong there, that governments can create outcomes, that I need to elect people to produce superior outcomes at the individual group level. If that was the idea, I would say no. The president don't get too many plans, because you are assuming a job that you don't even know what it entails, and nobody knows, nobody can tell you. You are just, like George Washington says, walking on untrodden ground. And any decision you make, accept it will be a precedent. Just be simple. Just understand the creativity and ingenuity, even innovation, is located in the human mind. It's not located in elected human minds, because they don't exist. A fool will always be a fool, before and after elections. So don't spare your time thinking about too many plans. Give people the opportunity to be themselves. They will surprise you. Because all the Zimbabweans in the diaspora, they've dumbfounded, surprised anyone they go to a country with no promise. They live there, work themselves up, climb a steep mountain of opportunity, without even worrying as to who is the president, who is got this plan or that plan. And you see them climbing every day, inching up. The human spirit does not require qualifications to be the spirit. Does not require a plan, because we may be wasting our time. Let's understand what is at stake. Let's get men and women of ideas, not ideas about how powerful we are, how powerful we can cause outcomes that are superior or not, but really what kind of Zimbabwe do you want? When we say a republic and a president, what really do we mean? When we say all power is by nature vested in the people, what do we mean? When we say, consequently, that power that you may think you have is derived from the very people who never applied to get the power to vote. So it is our power. Zimbabwe does not require geniuses. It doesn't require anyone. It requires you to think and act. Evison, Omerai, we must stop Madame Boss Grace. Don't fight too much to stop somebody. Fight for what you believe in. Do you think when the founding fathers of America said, Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, and others said, we hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men, including President Mugabe, are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. What would cause them to make this declaration, if not to tell the king that even the king must know what is self-evident, that no man can cheat time, no man, however powerful, can cheat death, that we all are equal in our limitations. 1 second is 1 second for all. 1 hour is 1 hour for all. So the 10-point plan will just reaffirm this self-evident truth. Andre Sasso, watching from Mozambique, Latif Fostra Shotra, Amen, yes. Ernest Mjikwa, watching from Edmonton. Mansfield Moyo, I hope Mnangagwa will not attempt joining the MDC alliance, and I hope he gets rejected everywhere else. He is the worst you can have in the country's leadership. I think that you got a point there, but I think he has been in government, seen a lot, was an architect of a lot of things. Did Mnangagwa understand what government is and is not? What do you think? Does President Mugabe understand what government is and is not? So we assume that we all have a shared understanding. What if that shared understanding is not there? Aren't you afraid of repeating the same mistake? When Ms. Mjuru was given the marching order, even the president thought what he thought was factionalism had evaporated, and that people would actually embrace the appointment of Mnangagwa as an appointment 10 years late. He thought factionalism could never be. How can factionalism be alive and well when there's no vacancy? There will not be any rationality for anyone to seek an office, which office seems to be closed until 2023, except for death. Yet, the appointment of Mnangagwa created so much anxieties and spoke to some other people's aspirations who saw in him a change of their status, of their claim on the Zimbabwe promise. Mansfield and Randbeck, Mugabe is now playing games with us, and we must stop it now. I don't think Mugabe has ever lied that he is going anyway. He has said that over and over. I don't know how else we can all understand the mind that informs President Mugabe. He has said, my power flows directly from the will of the people in my party and also outside. So I think we need to hear President Mugabe's voice, because sometimes we tend to hear our own voices and we never find it. So how else can we do this? So let's try to find this President Mugabe's thinking, which he has volunteered, I think, a number of times. But I think we just need to hear his own voice, because sometimes we hear our own voices and think it's President Mugabe talking. He has said so many times that I have no intention to disappoint my people. And my people is inclusive of the party members and the generality of the Zimbabwean masses. So just looking for the audio so that I can play it, so that we all are not surrendering to properties of hallucination. So it looks like so I will I think looks like I can't find, but I'll look for it while we are talking. More life, my Petrure joined. Welcome. And John Smith says, Mr. Mawere, you are trivializing facts. You either good or bad, but you want to say this was a bad who at times did good, call a spade a spade. And that's why SMM deserves the same protocol. Yeah, I don't know what I've said that has upset you. And if you are upset, just say where I have misdirected myself. Okay. No. I'm trying to locate the audio. Let me just check whether somebody can send it. Yeah. Okay, I'll get it soon, and then I will. Okay, Winky D saying, Zemudanga, the Battle of Lacoste and G40 was never about me and you, but about power. It's more of a scenario of two rapists fighting over who is gonna rape first. The battle for the average man still continues. His fight for bread and butter has not changed in any way. I think, yeah, you are right. Nobody will do something for you. You have to do something for yourself. This fight is nothing to do with the grass. Elephants can fight, but I don't really think the grass will be spared the wrath of two angry animals. So, yeah. So I think we can't assume that whether Mnangagwa was vice president or not, or this one or that one, you still have to face hunger. If hunger is your friend, you still have to do the things you are doing, and I don't think I don't think we can have I don't think you can say after 37 years that salvation is near because somebody is not in the front seat. I don't think it would be fair. And I think what is will always remain. John Smith Ndebele, was Mnangagwa a good or a bad officer? Was he clean? I didn't say he was clean. And if you followed what I have been saying all along, that the matter of SMM actually is located within the mind of Mnangagwa and his crew. And I've not heard anyone talking about the real menace of some of these characters that are now called disloyal, when disloyalty does not result in any loss of lives, any loss of jobs. So I don't think there is any way of calling a spade a spade. I wish Nelson Chamisa was the candidate. He is quite intelligent. He can rob us and we won't even notice, because I hate what we are in right now, where these people rob us day in, day out, and in front of our eyes, all of us seeing it. But unfortunately, we cannot do anything, though we are able to do something. I think Mugabe will be called very intelligent by many people. And I think that's what we need. Please don't be misled or fooled by intelligence. We all can talk nice, but values require no talking. And I don't think we are so daft not to know what has happened over the last 37 years. How many people trusted so much that their lives would be better just because somebody smart was in State House? How many of us listen to eloquence and continue to enjoy eloquence, yet when you go home, you find there is nothing to eat? How many of us have watched even the issue of SMM unfold, refold, unfold, where smart people do nothing? I've yet to hear Honorable Chamisa talking about the menace. I thought as a lawyer, he will be able to add something to the law that I'm talking about, John. It's still alive and well in a parliament where Chamisa is an honorable member. I don't know if I can close my eyes to justice in the quest for power. What is that power with? Iwe wakasungwa nani? Stacy V. Chiwa. I don't know, I'm here If ndakasungwa, I won't be here. Jefferson Mujokoto, who elected Mugabe, come on now, he stole it, call it for what it is. I don't know, because I don't have any mechanism of disqualifying anyone or discriminating anyone. All we are talking about is that the person who fired Mnangagwa is provided for in the Constitution. The powers that he has used are contained within the four corners of that Constitution. If he was not elected, he would not have the power to appoint or disappoint. If there is another narrative, then you tell us. David Mgwira, do you support family dinners? I don't support any dynasty. I don't support anyone. I don't support any man with power. I've learned better. So I support an investment in literacy. I support something that is of value. And I don't think any man will give me value. Any man will be blind to their friends. Then Stacy V. Chiwa, where do you get your fake news from, Nai? I don't know whether it's me you are referring to. I don't know what fake news I've gotten. Fifi Amai Kuzi Hudson, listening from London. Tapua Baza, Dr. Idzi, and Nixon Nembaware, Zoda, Dr. Idzi, Brian Tabete joined. Nixon Nembaware, Mr. Mario, what's your 10-point plan to turn around Zimbabwe? I've addressed that. I just have one idea, and that's better than 10 points repeating myself. Shirati Zokumbo joined. Can you shed some light where the vice president is now? I don't know his GPS, but there are rumors, innuendos, I don't know. Simba Mujuru watching. Lennox Moyana, Chakachaya, Rowan Mzamba joined. Savannah Madamombe joined. Based on state security laws, ED is immune from as a former head of CIO. I don't think so. Blessing from arrest. No, that's not. Good morning to you all. I hear there's a vacancy in Zimbabwe VP. I would like to apply. The constitution does not permit application. There's only one appointing authority. Do you want me to send you the video, Brian? Fine, you can send. Elder Parazai Mukabazi joined. Munyadi joined. ED now a card-carrying member. I guess Rangai Shangarara. Most of these so-called chefs, actually, they don't even bother. People just assume they're there. He went to Rimawere. You are the people who have run Zimbabwe down. Nema mine you, Muchiba Mari, you are now irrelevant. Chirikuya Kwauri. Charles Nyambuya. Charles Nyamba, tell them, Dara, you are saying the truth. Tinasi Chuma, do you still hold a grudge over SMM? I have no grudge. If I had a grudge, I would be what? I would be not here. I mean, grudge, it's your power that is used. You should be angry, not me. This man is intelligent. We need you in the New Zimbabwe. Wish you could lecture kids. Someone from ZANU-PF. Munyadi, Nelson Chamisa, you are right. Tinashe Chuma, do you still hold grudge over SMM? No. Raymond Makombe joined. So let's try here. Charles Manyani, welcome. I had Yvonne from Tanzania. So it seems Mugabe is paving way for the wife. Lol, family dynasty. Shame on African leadership. You fail us. No, he's not paving anything. The wife is paving something for herself and people who believe in her. She's taking her claim. She's going to the Congress. Also with resolutions from provinces saying they love her, they want her to be a leader. So don't underestimate organized people. John Smith, yeah, I've answered that one. Mshangwe Maroa, maybe the Zimba people, welcome. Tawanda Maramwidze, I think change is around the corner, you are right. Stanley Nyoni watching. Andy Love, welcome. KT Mshangwe Maroa. Calling a spade implies thieves belong in prisons, not the Mawarides of our millennium breadwinner generation. Yeah. Then John Smith, Ndebele, it's time to eat and it's time to unmask the lion that pretended to be a sheep. SMM fell victim because of him, let alone the Guguraundi victims, who I see have a smile that the perpetrator has been shown the door. Will the real SMM applaud to the small but big victory? I think SMM is dead, lives have been ruined, and I think it's important for us to reflect, introspect, and even interrogate this idea that one man knows it all, that under his watch, a lot of mischief has been characteristic of that journey. And what is the red card saying? The red card is not saying anything about the rule of law, about injustice. It's talking about loyalty. That only if you are loyal, the journey would continue. But where to? A journey of even 100 miles starts with one step. But if you don't know where you are going, any road will take you there. And John Gebele, we need to not celebrate, but actually reflect. Yvonne, did VP Mnangagwa have ambition of becoming a president? Obviously. I don't think anyone would want to be vice president as a cul-de-sac, as an end in itself. Because the argument being advanced, Yvonne, was that he deserves the post. In fact, if the people who supported him had their way, he would be president now. He is too old to understand the future. The future does not reside on the basis of age, Yvonne. There are young people who have changed the world. There are old people who are fools. It doesn't mean that if you are old, you lose reason. Now Mugabe fires him to pave way for his family. No. The wife has already addressed the people the world was there to see. She was not addressing as a wife. She was addressing as a principal, asserting a right, not a privilege. She was saying the constitution of ZANU-PF must be changed to reflect a certain understanding that a woman must be in the top 3. And that resolution seems to be supported by all the necessary people required to make it, to give it life. That's going to happen. And there's nothing to do with whether Mugabe likes it or not. He has been presented with fait accompli. She's not asking for a favor. She's asking for what she thinks is legitimately hers and the people who support her. They have already come in the open that the gloves are off. That president, we removed Mjuru in anticipation that you are going to make the right move. Now we don't trust you. You may end up cutting your own deals and leaving your wife, who has a lot more voltage and bigger balls than all the men of Zimbabwe who seem to be politically castrated. African leadership, since when public office changed family affairs, it's not only an African problem. Go to Philippines, Argentina, America, go wherever you want. Family can be a gateway to wealth, to power, to sex, to evil, to good. So accept that the fact that we are talking about this woman, had she not been married to this man, I don't think we would be talking about her. Tendai Tirarame Mwezi. So why are you talking about the political matter, say? Okay, I don't think what is political. I don't know what is political, Tendai. We are all in the business of life. We serve differently, but government is a reserved position for all of us because it is our government. Anything done in the name of this construct called government ought to concern you. So I don't think talking about yourself is political. There are people who want to be given a new role called politician. But when properly understood, there is no human being who is a politician. They are actors who then become political actors. They act, gain a living in the name of this enterprise called politics. But when you look at it objectively and think rationally, Tendai, you soon discover that no human being came into this world as a politician and will leave this world as a politician. We are all human beings. And anything that is done in your name, please don't close your eyes, your ears, your mouth. Talk about it. But as we stand, there are things that are fact, not fiction. The President of the Republic of Zimbabwe is the person of Robert Mugabe, who also happens to be the husband of the wife. And that wife is the one that is asserting and putting a compass, a GPS. Yvonne, smart lady, eh? You can't be smart without followers. George Chimini, welcome. The Wama Were, are you for Grace or for Emerson Mnangagwa? Maybe just join Dewa. I'm for neither. I'm not for anybody. I'm for a Zimbabwe that works for all. How best can we achieve it when, Mr. Mavinga, you think that some people must be for or against an individual? What is the individual going to give me? What kind of life would it be that would then place me as an appendage of another human being? I have rejected it, and I'll continue to reject it. So there is nothing. Emerson was there serving and singing for his own supper. He never gave up a meal so that I could eat. I never gave up a meal so that he can eat. So where is this intersection? That for me to talk here, I must talk because I am for or against. I don't think it's necessary. Let's respect each other. We all are sovereign. And let's assume everybody is also sovereign, including Grace Mugabe. Human, a person of flesh like you, a mortal person, a fallible person like you and me. Why would I put my faith on a human being? Innocent Denda, welcome. Brian, there are no changes in there. Okay, there was says Mavinga, I mean, do you support the firing of Mnangagwa or not? That's where I'm coming from. I think I've said my piece that where there's no justice and you have a minister of justice, what would you say? And the person says, what do you do? I'm a vice president of a car that is going nowhere, where you can see. There are people who should never have been in government in the first place. Because government belongs not to the governors or so-called governors. It belongs to you and me. And all I can say, Mavinga, I may dispute what is written on the red card, but the evil that man does lives after them. Who can cure the injury caused? Who will be there to say, this is wrong? Brian, there is no change in there. We need justice. Let be very, very close to RG. It will help us to a change. That's Marco Davis. Tazbu joined. Ken Matenga. Gosana Moe seems a good fit to face Dr. Amai in the 2018 watershed election. It's a pity MDC is at its weakest. I don't know who is good. I don't know what you are facing. And 2018, I don't even think Dr. Amai has said she's not a candidate when her husband is already a candidate. She's already in State House. I don't think any other position will give you the same address. So let's think about it. What is this fight, if there's a fight at all? For her to be what? The fight is really about the day after, the minute after. Who will be standing when the storm is over? Even Mnangagwa was not fighting to change the direction of the wind of change, but to be inside so that when change arrives, he will cash in on that. Daradi joined. So I don't know, if you want an educated person, that's fine. You get them, but they will think for you, act for you. And they will have the power given by you to fire and disappoint. So I don't think we can keep on going the same trajectory. Going where? Mayam Juru was there in Gawani. She's the one who mobilized for Mayam Juru to go. That is common cause. She did it, but people never understood what was going on. Hola, Lithini, Mary N. Keck. Not everyone accepts that. That's a fact. Tinashon Pasiri, welcome. Brian, Aisipo Bandi, elapsed. Elliot Shavundura. There is nothing wrong by Grace joining politics. What matters is the electorate. Are they going to vote for her or not? In a way, she's better evil to deal with than those who are veterans. They are going to rule us, even their grandchildren, in the name of we liberated you. Lennox Moyana. Dadzoka zvebaba hongu takaterera, but I think President ngavazorore, because all this zviri kuitika is destroying nyika yedu to zero, because you guys, I think me, go and rest mune upfumi wakakwana to survive. Advise our president to rest and give the country to some. So it's time for you to go back home. Your enemy is gone. Karo washe yes, Hebet Sambo. Who is this man, James Chitanda? I am who I am. Okay, let's hear President Mugabe.
To stand for elections. They want me to stand for elections everywhere in the party, and it's their voice I heed and the voice of no one else. Of course, if I feel that I can't do it anymore, I'll say so to my party so that they relieve me. But for now, I think I can't say so. And even if I might feel I wanted to rest, but with, that volume of wishes for the president to stand, the number of people who will be disappointed is galore, and I don't want to disappoint them.
Are you now thinking of grooming a successor?
No. That doesn't suggest grooming a successor. A successor is groomed by the people, actually.
Are you now thinking of grooming a successor?
No. That doesn't suggest grooming a successor. A successor is groomed by the people, actually. That the majority of the people feel that there is no replacement, actually. No successor who, to them, acceptable as I am. But the people, would want to judge everyone else. Those around you can get the confidence of the people as they operate around you, and gain the confidence of the people. When the people see that their leaders, they can trust their leaders beyond corruption, their leaders knowledgeable, sure, that's a grooming, The call to step down must come from my party, My party at Congress, my party Central Committee, I'll step down.
So, if you have ears to listen, I think you have listened. Those who couldn't hear, please let me know, then I can translate. But President Mugabe, in his own words, even before this episode, has always said that he ain't going anywhere. And people will be disappointed if he chose to abandon them. KT Mushangwe Maroa says, Kosei vana vasingaguti. He's saying, why are the people in government offices not able to say, we have stolen enough, gotten enough, because they don't know what it is to build anything from scratch. So he's saying, no, these guys have, they don't have interest of the country at heart. And I hope you understand that whoever you choose is just human like you and me. There are people they will like, and there are people they also dislike. And if given an opportunity to use power that is borrowed, they will use that power anyway. So it's not so easy for people to understand the true nature of power. What is it? And this is the problem. So we assume we know what power is, and we rest thinking that we know what it is. And I've been sent another.
I'm Prime Minister of my country, and I intend to rule that country with firmness. I'm not going to have anybody advocate the overthrowing of a government and remain in the country. He's not one of us if he does that. The alternative is to put him in detention, and I don't want to do that.
You seem to me to be taking a particularly hard line that might lead some people to believe that the right of dissent in your country wasn't now being...
The right to overthrow a constitution doesn't exist at all on the part of everyone. It is not a right of the individual. I'm Prime Minister of my country, and I intend to rule that country with firmness. I'm not going to have anybody advocate.
So, there you go. What about Chiwenga issue? I don't believe there's any issue. Perhaps you can educate me about what it is, Anesu, about Chiwenga. What is the issue? Because there are people who are creating issues every day. There's a big factory for fake news. So I'm not too sure what Chiwenga's issue is. I really don't know what the issue is. Perhaps you can educate me, because there may not be any issue. Are you a candidate for what? I don't know. I'm being asked by Tola whether I'm a candidate for what office. I don't know. Just persuade the president to step down and choose his successor. Which president? He has just spoken. President Mugabe has said, I am not going to choose a successor. Period. And I don't think it's for us to debate, speculate, imagine, pontificate, hallucinate, he ain't going anyway. So he has said, I will be in your office. I will be in the State House. So that is the reality on the ground. So then Amos Mnangagwa supped with the devil for too long, albeit using a short spoon. I pity him. He must face the music. My understanding is in the 1980s this is the most cruel man in Zimbabwe. I don't know who was measuring cruelty, but Mnangagwa is himself. He can speak for himself. Fortunes Ruthie, hi guys. Dewa Mavinga. Chiwenga is a soldier who must stay away from politics. He must simply uphold the constitution of Zimbabwe. That army should be non-partisan. Yeah, I think he has accepted that. I don't think Chiwenga is arguing that he ought to be anything other than what he was appointed to be. If anything, that is where things stand. I don't know why the fake news is being spread that Chiwenga is developing a new mind that is foreign to that idea. Welcome, Rafael Moyo. And welcome, Bo Mafumo, the biggest bigotry. Mugabe was put in jail by Smith for disputing the constitution of Rhodesia. Now, in your last piece, he says and threatens the same. It's not his right to choose the successor, it's the people's right. Who is he to choose who follows after him? Mukoma dewa makadini, tasangana opano, Shelton Tapiwa Chiangwa. Brian Tabete, so what's the point of voting? You must vote because it's your right to do so. Rechi Kumbigora, welcome. We need people who talk about getting rid of positive things for the country. Get away. Usatu urira vanhu zvisina basa. Usataurira vanhu zvisina basa. So Tendai, if you need people, find them. I think you can make your own election as to who you want. But we are not speaking here as office bearers. We are not speaking here to try to make you what you are not. I don't have a character-altering mechanism to transform you from what you are to become somebody. That's your choice. All we are doing is igniting people to think, provoking them to think, and more importantly, inspiring people to think outside the box. Let's register to vote Rufaro Page. Ola, he is old. He has been old for a long time. I don't think age is new. Asha Tafazwa, welcome. So I don't think we should imagine things that are not there. Mugabe is old, and he has been old. And I don't think any other argument would take us far. His wife is saying he's one center of power. He was anointed. And that's what it is. So if Mugabe feels he's ready to go, and you are the voter, you are not registered, you have no one to blame except yourself. So, a change of characters, a change of dynamics allows you to be either angry or in favor. Either you are angry with what is going on, that's inspirational. Either you love what is happening, do nothing. Either you are for or against. That is the way it is. That's the way it should be. Do you think Mnangagwa is still politically relevant? You can never count anyone out. Who am I to think? The people of Zimbabwe are vested with the power to make that call. And registered voters, instead of thinking or me thinking, anything is possible. You know what happened in Zambia? Sata was thrown off the bus by Chuluba and he got his own bus. And the rest is history. We have seen so many things happen. Malawi, Mozambique. So I guess we have to be alive to the dynamism of life. Who are we to think that we know better what life is in store for us? Time will tell who is relevant and who is not. And the people shall decide. Brian, 37, has been saying this after what he just said in that video. Yeah, he is saying, Brian, if you don't offer yourself, the same will be the same. The present will define the future. So I think let's be realistic. Let's be thinkers. Let's not hallucinate. Let's think. And those who think will always have a better claim. Okay, I guess there is a Dr. Chimedza who is, I'm just Dr. J. Chimedza, George Slindukaway in Harare, Dr. Morton, Motora Milpa Clinic, PSVP ED Mnangagwa, kindly take over the management of the above with acute gastritis and esophagetic. As you recall, he previously presented there with similar prognosis. The current condition has been triggered by stress. Kindly assist and advise. This is dated 6/11/2017. I wish everyone peace, but damn you think someone else could be not rule but lead for a while. Lead who actually gets voted in. Vincent Chatima joined. So I think it's there is some confirmation that Vice President Mnangagwa is attending to his health in South Africa. So I think that settles one aspect. So I think if you have any questions or comments, please do so. I'll close in about 11 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. It appears there's no question. Why do you still call him Vice President? Say, Amos, joke thing is out of the country. I call him Vice President because that was the position he was given. He's not my Vice President. Is there a chance for civil war? I hope not, Billy Golden. I think this will come to pass. I think the economic problems of Zimbabwe are more life-threatening than who is the president, vice president, and Alexander Nikiforakis. I think it doesn't matter who is the president or not. Things are hard. And some of the things that are happening in Zimbabwe are man-made. And the people who participated, who contributed, they are there. But what we are missing is this idea of government. I think my humble opinion is we can't seek salvation from something we don't understand. We can't seek wisdom from something that may never have meant to have wisdom. So you are ED spokesman or what? Shelton, no, I just got somebody who sent a message to my WhatsApp. I'm not his spokesman, but it looks like there is something. It looks like an instruction from a doctor. So I'm not his spokesman. But Amos, but is relieved of shame by the appointing authority say, yes. Tafara Zanamwe, what is this thesis of this discussion? That ED did not in fact escape the country. He in fact went to South Africa to attend his health, so we can all take it easy. Is he even fired from his post according to the thesis? Yeah, the thesis is clear, he's fired. And in broad daylight. Where he is and what he's doing, I think that's a different issue. He is no longer the vice president of Zimbabwe. He's a former vice president of the Republic of Zimbabwe. That opportunity has been withdrawn and it no longer exists. Is there a chance of a civil war? I don't think so. We just need the second coming of Jesus Christ, turn the earth into a paradise and banish all the bad people to hell. I think that's, no one can stop you from thinking that way, Billy. What we need is an economical politics. That's the way we can empower a nation. I think we need to think deeper. Imagine you are a so-called colonialist. You leave Europe. You take a ship. You board. Where are you going? I'm going to Africa. To do what? I think Africa is where my spirit is. I know if I arrive in Africa, things will be okay. Who is going to be the president of this African destination? I don't care who is the president. What I need is just to arrive. And these people did arrive. Build a civilization in Africa, part of which was inherited. They are here. When they arrived, there was no promise. There was no 10-point plan. There was no president. He was just, they were just what? They were just arriving at a destination far from home. And today we are talking about government, about the office bearers in government, without understanding what it is that is government and is not government. I just am reading way to what Tendai is saying. So who are you if you are not a spokesman? I'm here on my own, Tendai. I don't need to speak on behalf of anybody. And I hope you are also speaking on behalf of yourself. You need to be careful of your nonsense, dear friend. I'm not your dear friend. And if you think it's nonsense, just ignore. This is social media. Don't be angry at something that you don't agree with. Try and share better issues, dear friend. People are in trouble, yet you vomit shit. Again, that's what I choose to say is my discretion. What you choose to say or not say is also your discretion. I can't control what you wish to say, Tendai. Be your own person. If I share information, I share what I have. Not to convince you, but just to share. So let's share knowledge. Let's share what we know. There are people posting stuff about things they don't know anything about. If you know something that other people may not know, share. Without favor or prejudice, Tendai. Emmanuel Mamvura, Mr. Mawere, what's your take on voting before electoral reforms in Zimbabwe? It's just a waste of time. ZANU will remain in power through rigging. I guess, what is the alternative? If you do nothing, you're damned. If you do something, you're damned. But it's better for you to be part of the solution. Register, be counted, encourage other people. Find issues to ignite people, to make this the vote. If you are angry, don't be angry at other people. Just be angry at yourself for failing to discharge your duty as a citizen. It's within your control. There's nothing that you are being asked to do that is outside your control. Caston Mtambasekwa, Mpandasekwa, welcome. Durai Churu. Sadly, we have developed a culture of pulling each other down. We don't celebrate each other in politics and in business. There we go, people trying to pull Mtuma down. You have every right to discuss whatever you see fit. Thank you, Durai, for just living up to that promise and being able to express it. And I think let's think, let's reflect. What kind of future do you want? Do you want a future dominated by one individual, seemingly intelligent, eloquent, knowing it all? Or you want a future in which all of us count? All of us are sovereign. All of us are self-determining. The choice is yours. The drama that is being played now suggests that there are people who are more important than others. that foundation doctrine that is so self-evident that all men by nature are equally free and independent. You don't need to be educated to know that. You don't need to be educated to know that the moment we are a republic, limitations ensue. No single individual in a republic can claim legitimacy on the basis of being smart. Tafadhalu goho. So, on that note, I'll say goodbye until we meet again. I have done my bit to dedicate a few hours so that I can be with you. If you think you are benefiting from this exchange, please put Y. If you put 10 Ys, then I will be back. Not now, but I'll tell you the time when I'll be back. So I'll give you 1 minute, those who say yes, because I may be talking to myself, thinking that I am actually making a difference to the ideas that you hold on your own, to the ideas that are worth sharing. Some may say it's too high level. Tafadhalu goho, yes, you are counted. Anyone else? Okay. Mzamindi Watson, number 2. Farai Maruzani, number 3. Chirati Zogumbo, 4. Anesu, 5. Francis, 6. So we are 60%. Anesu, are you rigging, Anesu? Surprise, Nyanzira. Seven. Surprise. So we should. So we are 70%. %. Any other? We are left with 3. Nearly 8. 8. Left with 2. So we'll 9. So we meet at 10 o'clock. We are 10 now. So we meet at 9 o'clock Central African time. Thank you very much.